White cataracts have a variety of presentations and can be a challenge for both the novice and the experienced surgeon. I believe getting a well sized circular rhexis makes the job smooth. This is a moderately hard cataract in which I made multiple fragments, used high vacuum, and this made my chopping effortless. I prefer doing a direct chop as it helps reduce phaco energy and gives clear corneas on day 1. This patient had an excellent outcome and it was extremely gratifying. But not all cases are so straightforward. Here I present an intumescent white cataract with a corneal scar. In such situations, I prefer doing a needle decompression as it helps reduce the raised intralenticular pressure. After raising an initial flap, I prefer using a forceps as it gives me much better control. It's important to use copious amounts of visco to keep the AC pressurized and the rhexis flap flat, as this minimizes the risk of runoff. In such situations, patience is a virtue, and getting a good rhexis means half the battle is already won. Slightly enlarge the rhexis just to get proper sizing. This was a pretty soft cataract, so the phaco was routine. Multiple chops were made and smaller fragments were made, and the phacoemulsification was pretty standard. With this case, I thought I'd become the king of white cataracts, but just like the king of good times, I was blindsided by my overconfidence. Success breeds complacency, and complacency breeds failure. In the very next OT, I was brimming with supreme confidence, believing that white cataracts are now a piece of cake for me, but I was thoroughly humbled in this case. I didn't follow my usual steps of decompression and should have switched to using a forceps earlier. And due to my complacency, there was a runoff. Here you can see that I was trying to pull it in, but the rhexis has already run off. Finally switched to using a forceps. I tried to pull it in, prayed for divine intervention, hoping and praying that the rhexis will come in. But to my utter dismay, I now had to formulate a plan B. Once the rhexis was done, I was in a dilemma whether I should continue doing phaco or switch to SICS. And with my heart in my mouth, I took the plunge and decided to do phaco. I backed my skill set and I felt I could definitely do the case. Since the rhexis had run off in one area, I did phaco in a slightly anterior plane than usual. It's important to not come out suddenly and inject visco with the other hand, as this reduces the chance of a posterior extension. Once the IL was in the bag, I rotated the haptics away from the area of runoff and breathed a sigh of relief.
सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया